inside. The 12 of Alex Bergeron is at the head of the field. Blake Cannon's going to make the pass of the race lead on Blake Matulis as Blake had it for a moment coming off of turn 2. Now the 2 of Hauser. Maybe a little contact with the 127, but not much either way. And the 44 Blake Cannon will open up a gap. Hauser, he finds the outside wall up for 2, and the 12 of Bergeron. He's already up 3 spots since this started. A little bit of side-by-side of the 14 of Kerwin, and he's trying to set up the 2 while defending from the 14 all at the same time. Slide up from Hauser. He's going to go around, and he's going to end up upside down. Huge pile up on the entry into 3.
Yeah, that's huge right there. I have short-term memory loss or something, Randy. I did not remember seeing what happened there. I'll go back and watch the replay, but that was a huge incident there for Dylan Hauser, who was running in the 3rd spot. It looks like he came up the racetrack and just got right into the left side of Blake Majulis and nowhere to go for the 14 to Casey Kerwin. He's going to have heavy damage to the front end of that Clint Boyer Racing Peak Antifreeze number 14 car.
We'll have to get the medical team on hand to take a peek at Chase Rodman, because that hit was so heavy. I think Chase felt it up here in the commentary booth. But number of drivers involved there. The 14 of Kerwin, I think you have to feel bad for. And, of course, the 2 of Hauser, you know, having the situation he had after the Eldora race, comes in with good pace. And I still think he was in it for this championship chase. Even though he's a week back, he came in 8th in the points, you know, doing a lot better than some drivers who've run every single week. He's the sort of driver that has the potential to run up there near the front. But that's the danger with a race like this. We're getting ready to stack them up here. We have so many different lines available, so many different lines working. One little mistake can cause a huge pileup like that, really in the blink of an eye.
Well, how about this, Randy? How many times have we talked about this year? The top 5 right now, 4 of them Swindell Speed Lab Esports cars, and the same guy in the middle of them we saw a couple weeks ago. It's Alex Bergeron breaking up that Swindell Speed Lab pack. But man, these Swindell Speed Lab guys, every single week they make up the top 5, at least 2 or 3 of the spots. So here we go, man. Blake Cannon going to lead him back down to green. The 127.
We're already green, Chase. I think you're on replay. Blake Cannon leading in towards turn number 1. The 12 of Bergeron is trying to fight with the 127 though of Blake Matulis for the race lead at the head of the field. So we got another pileup going in towards turn number 3. Another car upside down. Caution's going to fly for the 2nd time. They're still piling them up here, out here on the racetrack. I think the 74 was involved in that one.
77
the 77 of Blake Brown as well, and I think that's where it sort of started. Blake and LB just made a little bit of contact, and LB got into that little wall that kind of juts out to the right-hand side, basically T-boned that, and that spat him down into the line of racing, and really no way to avoid that with the way that came down. The 77 gets upside down because of it, but man, oh man, Chase, that's 2 quick cautions here. And normally I like seeing the field get stacked up. They get 3 attempts before we start single filing them out. And I really think, actually, as racy as this racetrack is tonight, we might have to just single file these cars out to keep these races green and going. So many different lines of racing. It feels like with so many cars on track, we're pretty much inevitably going to see someone make contact here.
Yeah, we saw quite a few yellows last week at Volusia Speedway Park as well. But man, sorry to everybody watching at home. Good thing I don't run the cameras there, Randy, because the replays, I'm not very good at them. We are live now, though. Here we go. Blake Majulis and the 12 of Alex Bergeron lead them back down 14 laps in. Still got a lot of laps to go back to green.
127 and Batula's trying to get a big win here this season. We know that car has been strong. Hasn't quite been able to do so. Contact behind in the 44 Cannon, the 12 of Bergeron, the 00 Kendall Tucker. And look at that, the 07 of Howard Weaver. And we got cars spinning around once again. More cars piled up. I see the 74 of LB involved, the 0 of Deadman. I see Garrett Robinson involved in that one. And that, I think, is going to be the trigger to single file out these restarts.
Yeah, this has turned into a race of attrition, man. If you can make it through the crashes, you're going to be looking pretty good. And I'm looking at a guy that's done that, Brian Wayant Jr., our VR racer tonight. Randy, he's ran it up from the B main up to 6th right now in the 88 car, just keeping his nose clean.
Maybe we should have just stuck to his VR cam the entire time. So much drama. We're definitely going to be watching this VR camera, I think, coming back to green. They're going to be single filed out this time. But, man, just looking at going down your top 10 right now, the running order compared to where they started, this whole field is jumbled up. Right now, your top 4, all cars started in the top 10, but your 3rd place runners started on the 3rd row, the 4th row. Howard Weaver started on the 5th row. The driver currently running in 5th started on row number 7. The driver currently running 6th started on row 10. The driver starting 7th started on row 6. Driver in 9th started on row 10. So many people with all this drama getting moved their way up this field as the 1 to go signal is going to come through, and drivers I think, are a little bit confused about whether or not this is a one or single file or double file restart. It is a single file restart. That is a confirmation from Race Control, as the 127 Atulis is going to get on it. Not the cleanest restart I've ever seen, but the 127, he's going to have a lead through 1 and 2.
Yeah, let's hope we can stay green here. The 07 of Howard Weaver, the first car to go down to the bottom of the racetrack in 1 and 2. He'll try it again in 3 and 4. We've seen the bottom be good here. That first opening green flag run as Weaver pulls up alongside Alex Bergeron right there. Your top 3 have single filed up on the top of the racetrack. And here comes the 24, last year's champion, Zach Leonhardi. He's looking to the outside of Howard Weaver for the 4th spot.
Zach needs a run like this. He's only had 1 top 5 through the first 5 races as he's sizing up the 07 of Howard Weaver. Those two fought for the championship up to the final race last year, and it was the 24 who ended up on top because of that. But the 07 of Weaver is going to get a little bit of attack from the 24. Howard tried to shut the door. The 24 didn't let him, and our VR cam is right there in this battle. They're 3 wide off of turn 2, and it's the 88 of Brian Weyand Jr. on the bottom. Now it's going to be the 00 up top. That's going to be Kendall Tucker, your points leader. They nearly fan out 4 wide as the 88 on the bottom is going to lose out as they're 3 wide once again.
Oh, a big slider for the 2nd spot. Bergeron across the nose of Blake Cannon. Cannon right back down to the inside. These guys were going at it at Kokomo Speedway a couple weeks ago, and they're doing it again at Kokomo, or excuse me, they were going at it at Wyoming a couple weeks ago. They're doing it again here at Kokomo. Unfortunately, though, they're doing it for 2nd as Blake Majulis pulls away.
Batulis will have this race lead of the 12 of Bergeron. Sets up the bottom on the 44 Blake Cannon, but he's not going to quite be able to get it.
Yeah, now Cannon into the outside wall right there. He maintains the 2nd spot down the back straightaway, tags the wall, entering turn 3 as Blake Majulis is now pulled out to a 1.5 second advantage right now. He's looking to become the 6th different winner in 6 races here with the World of Outlaws Morton Buildings Late Model Series, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty good odds of that because he's got a pretty sizable advantage, and he's running great lap times at the front of the field.
Got a caution, though, and this is going to stack the field up once again. I see Chris Beck involved in this incident in the number 39. What happened in this little incident? This is going in towards turn 1. Maybe some technical issues there causing that yellow, but that's going to stack the field back up, and that's a disaster for the 127 Matulis. I think Blake had a little bit of an advantage on that last restart here with the fact that everyone was confused, not knowing if it was going to be a single or double file restart chase. He's not going to have that sort of advantage race up his sleeve this time. So I don't think that 127 is going to get that big breakaway that he got the last time we went back to green.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how these two teammates at the front of the field race each other. You know, the 127, the 44 car, Blake Cannon, both Swindell Speed Lab Esports cars. And, you know, I really want to see if they're going to race hard for this thing. Obviously, Cannon's trying to make his way back into the championship. He's 6th coming into tonight. Majulis was way up there in the top 5, so the pace truck pulls off quickly. A very quick yellow there. 20 laps to go. It's Majulis, Cannon, Bergeron, and it's the 24 Leonhardi, the 00 of Tucker, back to green.
So we're back to green. They're piling them up in the back already. Big contact to see the 07 of Howard Weaver getting into the 88 of Brian Weyand Jr. is down the back straightaway. The 127 of Batulis will maintain this race lead. The 12 of Bergeron pressuring Blake Cannon for 2nd as the 24 Leonhardi. He's trying to run for his 2nd top 5 this season, and Kendall Tucker from deep in the field has got his way into 5th. Let's look at the 07 on the bottom. He's going to be nearly 3 wide.
Yeah, Howard Weaver's not giving up on the bottom of the racetrack, and it's working for him right now as he slides in front of the 88 of Weyand Jr. and the 44 of Tyler Schell. Your top 5 is single filed up on the top of the racetrack, and it looks like 2nd and 3rd are closing in a little bit on the 127 of Majulis as Bergeron looks down to the inside of Blake Cannon. Can't get the move there, and Cannon will have that 2nd spot at the start-finish line. But it looks like the middle in 3 and 4, Randy, looks like it's got some speed to it.
Definitely seems like it, but it seems like you want to be up top there through 1 and 2. You're running about the middle right now. Oh, big move there from Kendall Tucker on Zach Leonhardi, and he's going to be able to maintain a little bit of an overlap, but he won't keep it in towards 1 and 2. Slider line from Leonhardi to try to defend the bottom, and Kendall Tucker is going to be able to take advantage up the inside in towards turn 3. He'll run the slider on the 24 Leonhardi, who cuts it back down to the bottom, and he's going to pick the spot back up into 1. Can Leonhardi get clear? Yes, he can. Tucker shoved into the wall, and behind Tyler Schell. Contact with the 07, similar incident, and Kendall Tucker's going to send the 24. He's been absolutely perfect out there, Chase, since getting out there in front. The lights back out on the race truck. We're going green this next time by.
Yeah, we'll see if Majulis can hang on to this win here. He's got 2 guys that have already gotten a victory in this series, and he's got Kendall Tucker, who's looking for his first, and Bryant Weyand Jr. from 19th up to 5th right now in car number 88. To the top of the racetrack, they go in 3 and 4. Green flag is back out. Can Majulis hang on with just 10 laps to go?
It's a pair of Blakes running the top side. In 1 and 2, Matulis finds the wall. That's going to be an advantage to the 44 and the 12. They close a little bit. They both get that little out jut there on the wall. How is that going to potentially damage those race cars? The 12 of Bergeron, the only one that missed it. But the 127 made the mistake, and Blake Cannon followed him. Slider from Bergeron. He can't get clear. We're inside of 10 to go.
Man, if Bergeron would have committed to that one right there, he might have slid in front of the 127. He's got to run down the front straight. Will he try it again down in 1 and 2? Here comes the 12 of Bergeron, a big slide job attempt. He's not going to clear it. He gets in front of Cannon, but not in front of Majulis.
Oh, they touched. He wasn't quite clear of the 44, and they're still rubbing in towards 3 and 4. The 00 Tucker's going to make this 3 wide. Down on the bottom. I don't think this is going to work for Kendall, but the 12 of Bergeron.
Oh, yeah, it will.
Slider line, and Kendall's actually going to get clear. What do I know? And Tucker's going to get up to third.
And Majulis is loving what he's seeing in the rearview mirror as he pulls away with just 6 laps to go. Bergeron back down to the inside of Kendall Tucker. They make contact entering turn 1. Tucker's going to hang on to it, but Bergeron falls back to 4th now. And once again, it's a Swindell Speed Lab top 3.
Swindell, and that's a Reignition Esport car fighting fifth behind Alex Bergeron on the 88 car of VR Cam. Don't think we've shown him much this race at all. He's fighting with the old 4 of Tyler Schell in towards 3 and 4. But the fight for your top 5 has really single-filed itself out. It's really Brian Wayant Jr. and Tyler Schell. Those are the two really fighting side by side. Top 4, all single file, coming to 4 to go.
Yeah, Brian Wayant Jr. keeping that left front tire down by those tractor tires on the infield, and it's working for him. This entire race, he's came from 19th up to that 5th spot. Does not want to give up the top 5 position. He's had a heck of a run. Here comes the battle for the lead, though. Randy, the 44 car, Cannon's closed back in on his teammate. Coming by this time, 2 laps to go. Will Cannon make the move?
Blake Cannon needs the points after what happened to him at last week and not making that feature event because he was racing from a different location. Can he make this work? The 12 of Bergeron in the background slides. Kendall Tucker won't get clear, and he'll hit the abort button. 2 laps to go this time through corners number 1 and 2. The 44 Cannon all over the 127 trying to make a mistake. These guys are teammates. They're probably going to play a little nice with one another, but slide job for the race leader and a slide job for 3rd as well. Neither will stick, and the 127 Matulis will lead here. See the white flag through 1 and 2. The 44 Cannon's lost a bit of ground. The 127 checks off the slider line, and the 127 of Blake Matulis, he will make it 6 winners in 6 races.
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Model Fast Passes are available now for just $39 a month, with single event subscriptions available as well. From Volusia to Charlotte, Fairbury to Lernerville, Eldora to Macon, and everywhere in between. Dirt Vision has you covered all season long. Every race, live, anywhere, anytime. Don't be left in the dust. Sign up for Dirt Vision today.
Six winners and 6 races, and as we come to Knoxville on the week of the 59th annual Knoxville Nationals, can we make it 7-4-7? Chase Rodman, Randy Chittenden, and Hugo Louis bringing you all the action here tonight, and things are likely going to be picking up as things are really picking up in the championship as qualifying is currently underway, Chase.
Yep, qualifying underway right now. We'll take a look at the practice times right now. After practice, it was Virgil Graham in car number 42. He was fastest overall with an 18.187. And then it's your championship points leader that came in second there in practice. Kendall Tucker, an 18.191. Randall Carter, James Edens, and Shad Prescott We're the top 5 in practice. Qualifying underway right now. Steven Wilson currently at the top of the speed charts with 18.578. Then Casey Kerwin, Tyler Ducharme, and Philip Diaz are the only guys that have turned the time so far. But Randy, like you said, 7 winners, 7 races. Let's see if we can do it here tonight.
We're taking a look at the points, and it's Kendall Tucker, 13 points ahead of that 12 of Alex Bergeron. And we talk about 6 winners and 6 races. Kendall Tucker is not one of them. Drivers to keep an eye on who have yet to have a win, I think that 00 of Kendall Tucker, the 33 of Evan C., and that 0 car of Kevin Dedman. I'd say those are the 3 most likely, if things potentially go their way and they have a good night, can definitely go in and put that thing in victory lane. Steven Wilson currently on pole with a 18.578, only driver at the moment to break into the 18.5 second bracket, but Howard Weaver goes quicker to an 18.530 on his first hot lap. He's currently working lap number 2 down the back straightaway and in towards 3 and 4.
Yeah, these guys are really taking a lot of time here right now to see what this racetrack does. A lot of guys, a lot of your championship leaders have not gone out onto the racetrack yet. Good lap there for Brian Wayne Jr. Last week's 5th place finisher after starting 19th. He jumps up to 2nd fastest now, an 18.538. But like you said, in this series, Howard Weaver 18.530 right now.
Good to see Howard having a good run and a good pace out here in the qualifying session as a couple other drivers out there on track. Brian Wayne Jr. puts in a very respectable 2nd place time of an 18.538, only 8 1/1000ths off the 07. A couple of other drivers out there on track. Evan C., we talked about him currently in the championship points, and maybe as a driver to watch, he's working towards the timing beam in just a couple moments on his 2nd hot lap. First one, not very good, put him slowest of all, and this time through he's going to come off turn 4. Does he improve on an 18.810? He will, and he will go for its quickest.
Yeah, good lap there for Evan C. He didn't really have a great week last week there at Kokomo Speedway. Got involved in a couple of incidents, and it really kind of took him out of this championship hunt. But we've got other guys up here about to turn a lap that are in this championship hunt, including Kevin Dedman, who's on the racetrack right now. He turns in about a 10th place lap, 18.628, and he's actually going to pull off. So Dedman, not with the best lap time, but he seems to be one of the most consistent guys in this series. He's ran in the top 5 almost every single race, with the exception, I believe, of last week, Randy. That 0 car has been very good all year long. There goes your points leader there. Kendall Tucker jumps up to about 7th on his first lap, 18.609 on lap number 1.
Let's see what we can do on lap number 2. You've seen 2nd lap being quicker for some of these guys as they try the different lanes. Off of turn 4 for Kendall Tucker and down the front straightaway, he will go to a 7.37. So we will drop a couple tenths on that 2nd lap, and we are quickly running out of drivers who owes us lap times. Alex Bergeron at a 6.16 is going to be solidly mid-pack. Couple other drivers out there at the moment. The 44, Blake Cannon, he's on his 2nd and final lap. He puts it through, and he will not improve on a 6.22. So that's going to sort out our starting grid. And what do you know, a driver who I think through the middle stages of this championship, the 07 of Howard Weaver, somewhat gave up, not having a good opening to the season. He goes quick time here in round number 7 as we'll take a look at the starting grid for heat race number 1. It's going to be Howard Weaver and Randall Carter on the front row, with Justin Thompson and Brandon Proudfoot on row 2, Garrett Robinson and Jeremy Caprone on row 3, with Tyler Ducharme and the 127 of Blake Matulis, championship contender coming into this chase inside the top 3 in points, if I'm not mistaken, coming into this race. And that's actually exactly where he was in 3rd. Not what he would have wanted here starting from the back of the field tonight.
He didn't even get to turn a lap and qualify. I'm not sure what happened to the 127. He might have tapped the wall there on one of his laps and really just messed himself up there for getting a lap time in. So Majulis, he's going to have a lot of work to do. Last week's main event winner at Kokomo Speedway, 3rd in the points like you mentioned. He's got to have a lot of work to do. He's got to get in the top 4 to transfer straight onto the feature. And speaking of the top 4, Randy, how about you tell these guys about the format here?
Format here tonight, as it is every single week, we will have 4 heat races. Top 4 will transfer. We will have a single last chance qualifier. Top 4 will transfer out of that to the main event, and that's going to sort out our 50-lap main event with 20 of the best taking part in that. Of course, that's where your championship points are really being won in that final race. And of course, the purse on hand, $300 for the win, $200 for 2nd, and $100 for 3rd, going to the top 3. And of course, the championship is really what everyone's fighting for. We talk about how competitive this has been, Chase. $10,000 up top to the winner of the championship, and $4,000 to 2nd, $2,000 for 3rd, and $1,000 for 4th. There's a lot on the line here, not only for these guys or for the driver who wins this championship, but for all these drivers fighting inside of the top 10 in points. Those are huge pay jumps from each of those positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Each position pays an incredible amount of money for a video game. You got to remember, this is a racing simulator, and these guys are sitting at their house making money doing this stuff. It's pretty incredible to see. And not only does the championship winner get $10,000, he also gets a ride in a real-life late model, courtesy of Clint Boyer Racing. But this pace truck is about to pull off, and we're about to go green here. Actually, we're going green next time by Randy. I'm a little bit ahead of myself here.
We're going to be going green here in just a moment as they roll down the back straightaway, and it's going to be the 07 of Howard Weaver for the first time. Runner-up last year in the points, has not had that sort of year this year, unfortunately. Been on the back foot, but finally get some momentum in that VLR 07 iRacing safety truck. Going to duck down to the safety of pit road, and Howard Weaver's going to waste no time. We are green for heat race number 1.
Yeah, let's see how this shakes out. A good start there for Howard Weaver. Contact behind for about the 5th spot between the 9 car of Ducharme and the 22 of Proudfoot. Looks like your top 4 have got to almost sort out. Now contact for the 3rd spot between Robinson and the 37 of Carter. And they single file it out there through turns 3 and 4. Right now, Robinson on that bubble spot has to run at least 4th or better to go straight to the main event. But that 22 car breaks as well. Diaz takes over 5th from the 2 of Hauser. Definitely 3 groups of racing going on right now. Make it 4 groups of racing. We got 2 guys in the middle. We got 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top of that top side of the racetrack. So Knoxville Raceway really prepped to perfection right now. As Randy mentioned earlier, this is the same week as the Knoxville Nationals, the big sprint car race that they have every year out there. $150,000 to win that sprint car race. But we are here with the late models, obviously. They do run here in real life also. They have their own late model nationals out there at Knoxville. I'm not really sure how much that one pays to win, but they're 3 wide back here for about the 4th spot. That is for the final transfer. So these guys are really going at it right now, halfway through this one, just over halfway actually. 5 down and 3 to go. Right now, Dylan Hauser is in the transfer spot in that 4th position. He looks down to the inside of Brian Wayant Jr. Big slide job coming in. And Hauser's got 3rd now. Wayant back down to the inside. That's going to open up the door for these guys behind him. Hopefully, the 94 Diaz and the 007 of Jacob Fields might be able to get up in the mix here. As Wayant slides back in front of Hauser. Hauser's going to turn it back down to the inside, down the back straightaway. And Hauser's got the spot. Almost chopped the nose on the 88 car of Wayant right there. And how about this? The 32 car Steven Wilson's tracked down Alex Bergeron for the race lead. The 32 of Steven Wilson, who has been very good every single week, it seems like, but something always happens to him in the main event, and he has some kind of problem. And it, forces him back about the mid-pack. He never really seems to get a good finish, but he's really running up there with Alex Bergeron right now, showing some good pace. So the 32 car might be one to watch for here tonight with 2 laps to go here in heat race number 2. It's Bergeron up front, followed by the 32 of Wilson, the 2 of Hauser, and the 88 of Wayant has that 4 spot locked down. It looks like there might have been some contact behind him. Then that 007, Jacob Fields, has fallen way behind here. And we're about to have a 3-car battle for leader on the white flag lap here. Bergeron still shows away. Here comes Wilson with a move to the inside, the final corner. Oh, yep. And Bergeron will pick up the win in that one. Excuse me, I was kind of falling. I was too busy looking at the battles there to not take a look at the lap times, unfortunately. But we got our 3rd heat race. Heat race number 2, the finish on that one, Alex Bergeron with the win, followed by Steven Wilson, then Dylan Hauser, Brian Wayant Jr. Those are your 4 transfers, followed by Jacob Fields, Matt McKinney, and Phil Diaz will be your finishing order there. Heat race number 3 is about to get gridded up, and we'll take a look at the starting order of that one. This is one guy I'm excited to watch for here tonight after a great run last week. The number 1 car of Austin Carr will be on the pole, and outside of him, it's the championship points leader, the 00 of Kendall Tucker. Row 2 inside. This guy's also up there in the championship standings. He's 4th right now. That's the 44 car of Blake Cannon. And on the outside of him, it's the 14 of Casey Kerwan. 3rd row inside, the 41 of Shad Prescott. And on the outside of him is the 35 car of Nick Cooper. And your final starter, this guy's had a pretty rough season, but he's looking to turn it around here tonight at Knoxville. It's the 52 of James Edens. James Edens, 2nd place in the championship for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series here on iRacing.com this past season. Has had quite a bit of bad luck here in this late model championship. He got suspended a couple weeks ago for some rough driving under caution, but he's back here tonight. I think he had a couple good runs in the sprint car here at Knoxville, so we'll see what he can do in the late model here tonight. This 3rd heat race, once again, 8 laps, top 4 drivers transferring straight through the main event. Austin Carr is up front in this one. He ran on the podium. I can't remember if that was last week or possibly the week before that, but Carr has been on a string of good runs lately. He's not really up there in the championship standings, but he definitely has been showing some strength here these last couple weeks. He's currently 11th in the point standings, so be watching for him here tonight. Like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that we are looking for 7 different main event winners or 7 winners, yeah, in 7 races. So it's been ultra competitive so far this year in the 2019 running of the World of Outlaws Late Models Morton Buildings iRacing Championship. Looking for green flag this time by. Pace truck should be pulling off here. So Austin Carr's up front, followed by Kendall Tucker. Row 2 is going to be the 44 of Blake Cannon and the 14 of Casey Kerwan. Third row, 41 Shad Prescott, 35 Nick Cooper, and James Edens at the caboose, rounding out the field here. Pace truck about to pull off. 4 more drivers head into the main event. Here we go, 8 laps. We'll see how this one turns out. Down the front stretch, a good start for that one car of Austin Carr. He'll go up to the top of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. Blake Cannon already going to work on the 00 of Kendall Tucker. He'll go by him for the 2nd spot. And now Cannon made a bid for that lead right there, but Carr too strong on the outside. Now Carr, oh, contact. Carr sideways. He hangs onto it. What a save there by Austin Carr. Falls back to 3rd. Now he's going to clobber into the side of the 41 of Shad Prescott. I am not sure how that one car is still moving, honestly. He makes it through, and now he's going to run into the 35 Nick Cooper. The one car of Austin Carr looks like a, I don't even know, a punching bag out there. He's ran into almost every car on the racetrack, and somehow he's still going. But up front, it is the 00 of Kendall Tucker leading, followed by the 14 of Casey Kerwan. And from the back, the 41 car, Shad Prescott's moving into 3rd. And a good battle going on for the transfer spot between the 44 Cannon and the 52 of James Edens. And looks like those are your top 5 drivers right now. Everybody else is falling way to the back of the field, including Carr and Nick Cooper. Carr and Cooper made a ton of contact that last time by. It really sidelined them from possibly making up here into these transfer spots. Good battle going on for the 2nd spot right now between the 14 of Casey Kerwan and the 41 of Shad Prescott. Kerwan down on the bottom. We've seen him work that line multiple times. We saw him work it at Eldora, where he ran up to a podium finish. We also saw him working it last week at Kokomo. He didn't really have as much luck there at Kokomo Speedway, but Kerwan, we know that he is definitely one that knows how to roll the bottom of these race cars. Looks like a good battle going on behind those two. Between the 44 Cannon and the 52 of James Edens. Cannon's going to clear him down the front straightaway. Edens really, he started dead last in this thing, running 5th. So if he's able to finish right there, he will have a front row starting spot for the B main event, which is not too terrible of a spot there, especially after starting from 7th here in this heat race. So Edens, I'm sure he'll be not too thrilled of not transferring straight on, but he's not too upset with having a front row starting spot for the B main. 2 laps to go here in this 3rd heat race. And Kendall Tucker is still showing the way. He's got a pretty sizable advantage right now, almost a 2nd over the 14 car Casey Kerwan. Now the 41 of Shad Prescott's moved into 2nd on the outside groove. Kerwan trying to keep that car up on that left side tires up on the inside berm as the track starts to slicking off a little bit. It's still pretty juiced up down here in 3 and 4, right through the middle of the racetrack. It seems like the bottom's kind of getting slicker, but majority of the racetrack is still hooked up as the white flag is out for the 00 of Kendall Tucker. And it looks like the 41 of Prescott put some laps together here. He's actually tracking down the 00 of Tucker, but he's running out of time, and he's running out of laps. As the checker flag's coming out this time by the 00 of Kendall Tucker, doing exactly what he needs to do here tonight. And he will pick up the victory in heat race number 3 here tonight. 2nd spot will go to the 41 of Shad Prescott, then the 14 of Casey Kerwan. And your final transfer will go to the 44 car Blake Cannon. So like I said, results there, heat race number 3. Like I said, Kendall Tucker doing exactly what he needs to do here as far as the championship goes. He wins heat race number 3, and he will start 3rd in tonight's feature event, followed by the 41 car of Shad Prescott, then the 14 of Casey Kerwan. 44 car Blake Cannon, he will end up in the final transfer spot. And then behind him, these guys will be in the B main event, the 52 car James Edens, the 1 of Austin Carr, and the 35 of Nick Cooper. Those guys did not really have a great heat race there, and he'll have to try again in the B main. One more heat race left to run here, and then we'll get into the B mains. I'm not sure yet how many we're going to have yet, if we have 1 B main or 2, but here's how this 4th and final heat race will line up. On the pole, currently 5th in point standings, the 33 car of Evan Sean. On the outside of him, it's the 77 of Blake Brown. Row 2 inside, that's the 0 car of Tevin Dedman, who's looks like he's 6th in the point standings, and on the outside of him, the 42 of Virgil Graham. 3rd row inside, the 16 Austin Selman, and on the outside of him, it's the 26 car of Drew Herchko. Your final starter in the 7th spot, last year's champion with this series, the 24 car of Zach Leon Hardy. Leon Hardy, as we mentioned on multiple broadcasts this year, has not really had the season he was hoping for. Came into the season trying to defend that championship, and things really not working out for him this year. I think really what it came down to is this series is so much more competitive than it was last year. I've heard a lot of the drivers in this series this year say that really last year, compared to this year, the championship was not as serious as it was this time around. So, and we've seen that with 6 different winners in 6 races so far. Looks like we are going green this time by a pace truck. Lights are out on him. and he should be pulling down into the infield this time by Evan C's up front, Blake Brown, Kevin Dedman, Virgil Graham, Austin Selman, Drew Hirschko, and the 24 car of Zach Leon Hardy. Pace truck's off, and we are racing heat race number 4 here at Knoxville. Into 1 and 2, it is Evan C to the top of the racetrack. Then it's the 0 car, Kevin Dedman, edging ahead of the 77 of Blake Brown down the back straightaway. Dedman down low, the 77 of Brown up on the top of the racetrack. Dedman looks like he's going to have second here off of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. Dedman, one of the most consistent drivers in this series all year long. I think last weekend at Kokomo was the first time he's really ran outside the top 5 all year long. So Dedman really looking to rebound here tonight at Knoxville, and he looks like he's got a good race car as he pulls up alongside Evan C down here in turns 1 and 2 for the race lead. And if Dedman's able to win this heat race here, he'll start 4th in the main event. Might be the best starting spot he's had all year long, and it might be good enough to maybe get him a feature victory here tonight. 3-car battle for the lead off of turn number 2. Looks like actually turn number 2 down the back straightaway. We've got the double, or the 0 of Dedman, 33 of C, the 77 of Brown. And then behind those guys, a side-by-side battle for the transfer spot between the 18 of Selman and the 42 car Virgil Graham. Good battles going on mid-pack and at the front of the field. Dedman and C continue to go side-by-side. We're halfway home in this one. 4 down and 4 to go. Look at the 3 different lines being used here, ladies and gentlemen. It's 0 Dedman down low. We're 4 down and 4 to go. The the 0 of Dedman on the bottom, the 33 of C through the middle, and the 77 of Brown up top. 5 down and 3 laps to go here in this one. It looks like C has got something figured out now as he's cleared the 0 of Dedman and is now solidly out front. Looks like they've all kind of settled down and now running single file here among the top 3 drivers. The battle for the transfer spot continues on between the 42 of Graham and the 18 of Selman, though. Selman down low, working the inside hub, while the 42 car of Graham up on the top of the racetrack. Here comes the 24 of Leon Hardy now making his presence known. He goes up to the top of the track to the outside of Selman. He'll bang it off the wall right there. 2 laps to go this time by. And Leon Hardy has now taken over the 6th spot. Can Leon Hardy, or excuse me, the 5th spot, can he put the move on Virgil Graham here coming down the white flag this next time by? He's into the wall down the back straightaway. That might be all the hopes he had right there as he tags the wall down the backstretch, and now he gets slid by the 18 car Selman. I think Graham's going to be able to have that spot as they go down the front straightaway. White flag is out for your race leader. It is Evan C. Now he's challenged to the inside by the 33 of Dedman. He'll clear him down the backstretch. One more time into turns 3 and 4. Off of turn number 4, it looks like Evan C. will pick up the victory here in heat race number 4, followed by Kevin Dedman. Then in the 3rd spot, the 77 of Brown, and in 4th, your final transfer will go to the 42 car of Virgil Graham. 5th spot was Selman, 6th was Hirschko, and in 7th, it was Leon Hardy. Let's quick. Sounds like there will be one B main tonight. Let's go over the finishing order there once again of heat race number 4. Evan C. with the victory. Kevin Dedman 2nd. Blake Brown, Virgil Graham, Austin Selman, Drew Hirschko, and Zach Leon Hardy, your transfers, or excuse me, your field. And here we go. Just heard over the iRacing Esports broadcast radio here that there will be one B main event here tonight. And on the pole of it will be the 127 of Blake Majulis. Outside him, the 007 of Jacob Fields. Row 2 inside, it's the 52 car James Edens, and on the outside of him, the 18 car of Austin Selman. Row 3 inside, 22 car Brandon Proudfoot, and on the outside of Proudfoot, the 51 of Matt McKinney. Next row will be the 4th row, the 1 car of Austin Carr, and on the outside, the 26 of Drew Hirschko. 5th row, the 9 of Tyler Ducharme, and on the outside of him, the 94 car Phil Diaz. The 5th row of Nick Cooper, and the 24 of Zach Leon Hardy. And it looks like your final starter should be the 23 car of Jeremy Caprone. So how this will work, it should be, like I said, 13 drivers for 12 laps. The top 4 will transfer directly to the final 4 spots in tonight's main event. And after that, the rest of the guys, 5th on back, will have to try again next week. I'm not sure. I got to remember what track we are at next week. I believe it's Williams Grove, if I'm not mistaken. That is correct. So next week we'll be at Williams Grove here, same time, same place here on the iRacing Esports Network at 6 o'clock Western time. Looks like we'll go green next time by. Blake Majulis really needs to have a good run here. Last week's main event winner, currently 3rd in the point standings. Did not put a time in qualifying tonight. Had to start dead last in his heat race. Ran it up to 5th. Good enough for a front row starting spot here in this B main event. He's joined alongside by James Bond's brother, Jacob Fields, in the 007 car. Once again, the 2nd row, the 52 car James Edens, 18 car of Austin Selman. Row number 3, The 22 of Proudfoot and the 51 of McKinney. Going green this time by iRacing safety truck about to pull off onto pit road. Green flag about to wave here at the Knoxville Raceway for the B-main event. We are underway. And a good start there from the inside for Blake Majulis. He'll go right down to the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 1. He'll actually slide himself down here in turns 1 and 2. Gets to the middle of the racetrack and pulls away down the back straightaway. James Eden slots into the second spot. Then in third, it's the 007 of Fields. And in fourth, the 22 car of Proudfoot. Right now, those are your 4 drivers that would make it straight on into the feature event. Behind them, my goodness, and behind them, an absolute dogfight for the 5th spot between Austin Carr, Drew Herchko, and the 51 car, Matt McKinney. These guys are absolutely going at it. Problem is, they're going after the 5th spot, not for the only transfer spot, or not for the final transfer spot. Looks like Carr's gotten clear of that battle behind him and has now moved up into P5. Looking to track down the 007 of Fields and the 22 car Proudfoot. He's going to try and bring the 51 of Matt McKinney along with him. McKinney tags the back straightaway wall right there, as does the 007 of Fields. Fields in the long turn number 3. Here comes the 1 car of Austin Carr up to the back of Proudfoot now. 4 laps in and 8 to go. And now the 007's big time into the wall right there. The 22 car gets into him. Here comes the 1 of Austin Carr down on the inside. Austin Carr takes over 4th, and now he's looking for 3rd down in turn number 3. Austin Carr, big slide job, moves into the 3rd spot. A good move there by the 1 car of Austin Carr to put himself into transfer position. Down the front stretch, they put lap number 5 in the book, 7 to go. Another big slide job coming in from the 22 of Brandon Proudfoot. He takes back over the 3rd spot. Carr turns it back down to the inside, on the back straightaway, side by side for the 3rd spot. But don't count out the 007 of Fields, who tags the wall in turn 3, or the 51 of McKinney, or the 26 of Drew Herchko. Herchko down low takes over 6th from McKinney. Drew Herchko doing a great job right now down on the bottom while everybody else is up on the top of the racetrack. He's the only one down there. He's got clear track to work with. Just can't be making any mistakes. He's got to be really easy on the throttle pedal down there. Carr looks a little bit tight. He's got that thing cranked left, but it's working for him right now. He gets by Matt McKinney. Drew Herchko might be one to watch for by the end of this thing, as we got 7 down and 5 laps to go now in here in the LCQ. 6 laps to go, excuse me. The 127 of Blake Majulis still showing the way. He's got a sizable advantage over the 52 car James Edens. Those 2 are teammates. I don't really see them making too much head or making too much noise up there for that lead. I'm sure they'll try and run 1-2 here with no problems. They've got a pretty sizable gap back to the number 1 car of Austin Carr in the 3rd spot, and in 4th, the 22 of Proudfoot. Herchko and Fields get side by side here through turns 3 and 4. Herchko's going to take over that 5th spot now, but I think he's running out of time here. He's only got 3, make it 4 laps to go now to try and track down the 22 car Brandon Proudfoot. They work down the back straightaway. Herchko continues to work the bottom of the racetrack. I think if he wants to catch up to Proudfoot, he's got to try something different here. Coming around this time by for 3 laps to go. 3 to go for Blake Majulis, who continues to slide himself down there. We call it the slider line. He enters in on the bottom and slides that car up to the top of the racetrack, tags the cushion, and drives away. It's working for him pretty well right now. James Edens is sticking right there with him, about 4 car lengths behind him, and another 6 or 7 car lengths back to the 1 car of Austin Carr. 2 laps to go, white flag next time by, and Herchko's actually closed in a little bit here on Brandon Proudfoot, but I don't think he's close enough to make a maneuver here unless Proudfoot makes a mistake here in these final couple of left-hand corners. As they work through turns 3 and 4, down the front stretch, white flag is out for the 127 of Blake Majulis. Keeping my eye on the 26 car of Herchko. He drives it in deep into turn number 1. He's not going to be close enough, I don't think, for a slide job down here in the final corner to get by Brandon Proudfoot. We'll see what he does, though, here down in 3 and 4. He drives it in deep, but he's not going to get there in time. Your winner of the LCQ will be Blake Majulis, 2nd to the 52 car James Edens. In 3rd, it's the 1 of Austin Carr, and in 4th, it is the number 22 car Brandon Proudfoot. 5th spot, Herchko. 6th was Selman. 7th was Caprone. 8th was McKinney. 9th to Charm. Then it was Diaz, Cooper, Fields, and Leon Hardy, your field. So Majulis, Edens, and Carr and Proudfoot, your 4 drivers will move directly to tonight's main event. And it sounds like, are we going to be taking a break here, ladies and gentlemen? And we are definitely going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, it will be tonight's 50-lap main event for the World of Outlaws Morton Billings Late Model Series here at Knoxville Raceway. Should be a good one. We're looking for 7 different winners in 7 races. Please come back with us.
Race fans, you wanted the best? You've got them. Live on DirtVision.com. Presented by Dryden. The World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. The World of Outlaws, Morton Buildings Late Models. Knoxville Raceway and the Knoxville Nationals. And the Dirt Cars Summer Nationals are all available live. Sprint Car and Late Model Fast Passes are available now for just $39 a month, with single event subscriptions available as well. From Volusia to Charlotte, Fairbury to Lernerville, Eldora to Macon, and everywhere in between. Dirt Vision has you covered all season long. Every race, live, anywhere, anytime. Don't be left in the dust. Sign up for Dirt Vision today.
Welcome back here to Knoxville Raceway. It is time for our 50-lap main event, round number 7 of the World of Outlaws Morton Buildings Late Model Championship here on iRacing.com. If you're just joining us for the first time, we are looking for 7 different feature winners in 7 races. Can we do it? We've got one guy that hasn't won on the pole here tonight. Let's go down our starting lineup. On the pole. On the pole, it's the 07 car of Howard Weaver. And on the outside of him, currently second in the point standings, it's the number 2 car of Alex Bergeron. Row 2 inside, you'll find your championship points leader. It's the 00 of Kendall Tucker. And on the outside of him, currently 5th in the standings, the 33 of Evan C. Third row inside, the 37 car. Great starting spot for Randall Carter here tonight. And on the outside of him, going from 6th, it's the 32 of Steven Wilson. Starting 7th on the inside, row number 4, the 41 of Shad Prescott. And on the outside of him, the 0 car of Kevin Dedman. And then it's Justin Thompson and Dylan Hauser right now, your top 10, as we are underway right now for hot laps here. Well, they call it the warm-up, but I'll call it hot laps. The final chance for these drivers to get some laps here, maybe change up the setup, get a feel for the racetrack, and see if they want to make any changes to their cars here. Once again, 50 long laps. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the iRacing.com service, I don't think you understand how much this track changes throughout a 50-lap main event. It started out pretty clean here when we went out for qualifying, and as you can see, there's a lot of different, different colorations and discolorations of the racetrack, where it's gotten slicker and where it's still got some moisture to it. So these guys are going to have to really search around and try and figure out what is the best line to run here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go down the full feature grid here for tonight's 7th round of the World of Outlaws Morton Buildings iRacing Series Championship here for the Late Model Series. Once again, on the pole, it's the 07 car of Howard Weaver, and on the outside, the 12 of Alex Bergeron. Row 2 inside, 00 Kendall Tucker, currently series point leader, and on the outside, the 33 of Evan C. Third row, 33 car third row, the 37 of Randall Carter, on the outside, the 32 of Steven Wilson. Row 4 on the inside, it is the 41 car of Shad Prescott. On the outside, it is Kevin Dedman in the 0. Fifth row, 98 of Justin Thompson. On the outside, the 2 Dylan Hauser. Sixth row, it should be Casey Kerlon and Blake Brown. And in the 7th row, it should be Garrett Robinson and Brian Wan Jr. 8th row, you'll find one of your championship, 8th row, it should be Blake Cannon on the inside and Virgil Graham on the outside. 9th row, Blake Majulis, and on the outside, his teammate, the 52 of James Edens. And your final starter, it should be Austin Carr and Brandon Proudfoot on row number 10. Field rolls off from pit road. And this is going to be a very exciting one here, as Howard Weaver. I mean, I've been watching these races every week. Obviously, I'm announcing them, but I've looked at the chat and some of Facebook and on Twitch and stuff, and it seems like the 07 car of Howard Weaver has been one of the highest mentioned names in the series. He hasn't really ran good all season long. And Randy, are you with us here?
I am indeed with you here, Stephen. Chase. We've had some issues tonight. I think much to Stephen Calavota's amusement, as the field rolls off through this first pace lap, and it's going to be the 07 of Howard Weaver. And we've talked about the fact 6 winners in 6 races. We've been considering maybe the championship contenders that could maybe pick one up, perhaps even Evan C. And of course, your championship points leader who starts 3rd, Kendall Tucker. Both of them currently winless, but I don't think anyone had this 07 of Howard Weaver on their radar car as a potential race winner here, but he's driving up against a driver that we know is strong around this Knoxville Raceway. So for the 07 of Howard Weaver, he's going to go in towards turns number 3 and 4. Going to see that iRacing safety truck peel off on towards pit road, and he is going to pick up the throttle any moment now when he gets released. Howard Weaver, representing Victory Lane Racing, he gets on it. We are green for 50 at Knoxville.
We'll see where Howard Weaver goes on the racetrack here. He'll try the bottom in 1 and 2. It's going to take these drivers a couple laps to search around here with the different grips and the different moisture on this racetrack to see what's the best line. Right now, Weaver tries the bottom. Good side-by-side battle behind him between the top 2 of the point standings. The 00 of Kendall Tucker down low and the 12 of Bergeron on the outside as lap number 1 goes in the books.
Lap number 1 goes through. The 12 of Bergeron still trying to hook up top, but both grooves really working well at the moment. Side by side down the back straightaway past the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and in towards 3 and 4. It's still VLR out in front versus Swindell Speed Labs and Alex Bergeron Racing, the 00 of Kendall Tucker. He's going to pick up second and start hounding that 07.
We've got 3 different teams up at the front of the field. The VLR number 07 of Howard Weaver, the Swindell Speed Lab number 00 of Kendall Tucker, and the Team ABR number 12 of Alex Bergeron. Here comes Tucker down the inside for the race lead. Oh my, here we go. We've got 2 guys that haven't won a feature event at the front of the field. They're side by side. He hit the lead in turn number 1 for Kendall Tucker.
What a move by the 00, your points leader. What a situation for him to be 6 races into this championship without a race win. And he's going to pick up the lead early here at Knoxville. Now Alex Bergeron going to try to follow him through, as well as the 33 of Evan C. Top 4 cars, 3 of them have yet to win a race this season, and 3 of them are championship contenders. Bergeron gets around the 07, and Evan C. is going to try to get around Howard Weaver as well.
Heck, we've got 4 guys in the top 5 right now that haven't won a race this season. The 37 car of Randall Carter, throw him in the mix as well. He looks down to the inside of Howard Weaver for 4th down the front straightaway. So Kendall Tucker right now has pulled out to a pretty sizable advantage right now over the 12 car of Alex Bergeron.
Make it 7 of 8. Make it 7 of 8. Kevin Dedman gets there and gets past Howard Weaver.
This is pretty incredible to watch. We had a lot of guys that have won features this year start at the back of this field, so we're going to have to wait towards the latter half of this race to watch those guys get up to the front of the field, as now Evan C. moves into the 2nd spot by Alex Bergeron. Randy, it looks like Bergeron might be struggling here at the beginning of this race.
He's trying to run up top. We know they've made changes in the sim to how that cushion works, and the 12 of Bergeron has been running it for pretty much years at this point, and that's where he's the strongest. He's still trying to run right up against the fence, but the pace doesn't seem to be there. 3 wide for 3rd for a moment off of turn 4 as Bergeron loses 3rd. Randall Carter in the 37 and the 0 of Kevin Dedman trying to get around that 12 car.
Man, I don't think we've talked about Randall Carter much of any this season, and here he is about to stand on the bottom step of the podium, working to the inside of one of the best to do it, the 12 car of Alex Bergeron. Behind him, it's Kevin Dedman. How many times have we seen him in the top 5 this year? He's currently 6th in the point standings, and we know how hungry he is for a victory here.
Digging right now is that 37 car on the back of the 12 of Alex Bergeron. Can't quite make anything work as that middle groove not quite having much pace. We know that there's a good speed up top, but the 12 of Bergeron has left it and gone down to the bottom. Everyone running sort of that bottom line at the moment, right up against the berm. The 0 of Kevin Dedman right up alongside that 37 of Randall Carter. Not quite able to get alongside. I saw Caprone on the side of that race car chasing it, threw me off.
Kendall Tucker up front. 19 ones, as is the 33 car of Evan C. Those are your top 2 guys. They're running much faster lap times than everybody behind them, so it might be a 2-horse race by the end of this thing. But it's great to see us getting a long green flag run here after last week at Kokomo, where we had several cautions start out the race. So these guys are really getting a good chance to fill out this racetrack. Bergeron tries to top down in turns 3 and 4. Right there, he goes back to it in 1 and 2. We know that car is so good on the top of the racetrack. He's just waiting for it to come in, as it looks like it might be actually coming in here about, we're almost to lap 15.
You run enough laps, and that bottom line is going to dry out. We're maybe starting to see that. The 37 of Randall Carter slides up to the middle of the racetrack. He's going to try that line this time, and I think he liked it. Once he tried tier through 1 and 2, doesn't get quite down to the berm. The 0 Kevin Dedman pretty much follows suit. So those guys moving around a little bit. I think the laps in favor of the 33 of Evan C. that last trip as well. We got a caution.
Yeah, 1 car into the wall. The 44 car, Blake Cannon. Cannon, currently up there in the point standings, has some kind of problem right there and gets turned around. I'm not sure what happened. Randy, can you tell us?
Got the replay up on screen at the moment. We're seeing him right now in towards 3 and 4. Tries to throw a slider on the 88 of Brian Wayant Jr. The 14 of Kerwin ahead of him kind of messed up. We're seeing how this kind of stacked him up here in towards 1 and 2, and I think he sort of did it to himself, and indeed he did. Slid in a little bit too hard going in towards turn 1. found that outside wall and got checked up, and driver behind him, unfortunately, nowhere to go. So the 44 gets turned, but as we've seen multiple times this season, we've not seen, seen another yellow here with an incident that really hasn't caused race-ending issues or race-ending damage for anyone out there on the racetrack. So first time tonight, about 13 laps in, we go to a caution as the field rolls through. And we're going to wait for the 00 of Kendall Tucker to bring us back to green flag racing. Light still on the iRacing safety truck, which means that we're not going to be going green next time by. We have at least one more lap of the iRacing safety truck doing some enjoyment laps out here. As you see the guys getting ready to form back up side by side, which means we'll be back to green in just a couple of moments. So 00 Kendall Tucker, so many drivers at the head of this field. We've been hyping it up because it's been such a competitive championship, especially after the sprint cars. The fact that that was so dominated by that 12 of Alex Bergeron, that this championship field has been so diverse. The 00 of Kendall Tucker leading the points, doesn't have a win. He's going to restart here on the point. Outside of that front row, 33 of Evan C. He comes into this race fifth in the points. He does not have a win yet in this series. Kevin Denman's going to roll off fifth on this restart. He doesn't have a win yet in this series. The 37 of Randall Carter, he's deep in the points, but he doesn't have a win either. So diversity has been the talk of this championship in terms of representation in victory lane, and let's see if it keeps up. 35 to go this time, 34, excuse me, and Kendall Tucker is on it.
Back to green here on lap number 16. And Kendall Tucker gets a great restart. Excuse me, 4 wide behind him for the third spot. Contact between Dylan Hauser and the 07 of Howard Weaver. They hang on to it, keep on going. But it looks like Bergeron's got that thing hooked up on the top of the racetrack. He nearly got by Evan C down the back straightaway. C kind of chopped him off there at the end of the backstretch and didn't let him get by.
Kevin Denman working the bottom underneath the 12 of Alex Bergeron, trying to pick that spot up. That'll put 3 non-race winners inside of our top 3, but look at the momentum up top for the 12 car of Alex Bergeron. We've seen a lot of that in 2019. He's able to just about get clear of the 0 at Denman, but I think that top side chase is not quite the quickest way around the racetrack just yet, but it's really evened out with that bottom line.
Yeah, well, Alex really knows right now that if he keeps running down low, he's not going to pass anybody. Everybody's down there. It's like a roadblock, so he knows he's got to try something else. And if he's going to lose positions, at least he tried to get by these guys. And I think by the end of this race, with these runs that he's getting, I can visually see he's getting some good runs through the center of the corner. It's just not very good on exit. I think by the end here, it might come in and be in his favor. It looks like Evan C's now closed up to the back bumper of Kendall Tucker. Might have a battle for the race lead brewing up here.
I think the 00 had a little bit of a mistake because that gap was a bit bigger at the start of the previous lap, according to our timing sheet. So the 33 of Evan C working the run, and he's got it down to about a quarter of a car length of space between himself and the 00 in front of him. The gap, 2.5 tenths. As he went by last time, the 12 of Bergeron stalking them as well. That 12 car is still the only one in the top 5 running up against the fence. The 2 of Dylan Hauser from 7th, he's ripping it as well. But still, the majority of your field, bottom feeders at the moment.
Yeah, keeping track of our third place in point standings of Blake Majulis, the 127 car from the B main. He got the victory in the B main. Remember that. He's up into the 10th spot, working on the back bumper of the 77 of Blake Brown right now. Majulis having a good run through the field. He's still got more than half the race to run, so he could still have a good run up towards the top 5 if everything goes his way here. Back up front, though, look at Evan C. He's working about a lane off the bottom right now. And Randy, I don't think these people at home realize how much throttle control it takes to run right through the middle of the racetrack here.
It slickens off, and it really is hard to run that. Look at the 0, though, Kevin Denman. He's running the 12 car of Bergeron hard side by side. They made a little bit of contact about a lap and a half ago, and down the front straightaway, Bergeron's going to hold on to that. But running that middle line, it is difficult trying to keep that throttle application up, but that inside line is probably slickened up. But look at the 12 of Bergeron. I think he's closing on your top 2.
Yeah, last time by, Randy, he was 2 tenths faster than your leader, Kendall Tucker, so the 12 car's coming while these guys run the bottom of the racetrack. Will they make the move? Because they can see him back there. They have spotters and they have mirrors. They can know when that 12 car is making moves on the top of the racetrack. Will they go up there, Randy, is the question, or will they play it safe down the bottom and try and hope that it stays in?
And your 33 of Evan C, he's going to be seeing that happening as we're going to be cross flags. This time, half distance in the 7th feature of the 2019 World of Outlaws Morton Buildings Late Model Championship here on iRacing. He's going to have to go here in just a moment, and with that 12 car charging and really hounding him like this in a situation in the points, I wouldn't be surprised if that 33 gets a little physical with a 00.
Yeah, all these guys I feel like might get physical with each other as soon as this championship's winding down. We're on race number 7, only 3 to go after this. So these guys really got to muscle it up and try and get as many points as they can here. Bergeron tries the slider line down in 1 and 2, tags the cushion on the exit, and it looks like it's actually going to lose him some ground there. So now C and Tucker pull away. Look at the bumps down the back straightaway, man. This is a handful for these guys tonight.
Really the handful. The 33 of Evan C. Gets a little bit of a lane underneath, but can't quite stick it there. On the 00 of Kendall Tucker through 1 and 2, he's actually going to lose a little bit of ground to that Swindell Speed Labs 00, and that VLR number 33 just can't quite hook up the bottom just yet, but he is keeping Kendall honest. I think that 33 car is quicker than the 00 Chase. He just can't find any way to get by.
Yeah, Evan C's been good all season long. It's not like the first time we've seen him. I mean, he's been up in the top 3 and in the top 5 all season long. He's only had about 1 or 2 bad races all year, and he finds himself up there in the point standings. But like we mentioned earlier, he's still looking for his first win, as is that 00 car. Which one of these guys wants it more? Here comes the 33 down to the inside. Might have a run down the backstretch. Can't pull up next to him right there. He rides behind him down to turn number 3.
And maybe the situation in the points and $10,000 up top might be riding on the mind of that 00 of Kendall Tucker. He comes in leading the point situation, and if he gets, I think, the gift, I think perhaps Chase to run second here and at least beat Alex. If that 33 shows an aggressive nose, the 00 might just jump right out of the way.
Absolutely, and you know what? The 127 car, man, I wish there was a hard charger award in this series, because the 127 of Blake Majulis is from 17th up to 7th right now. We've only had 1 caution. There's a caution. Caution's on the racetrack, Randy.
Caution
car
on the
upside
racetrack.
down.
Well, that's not
98
great.
of Justin Thompson. Yeah, he's upside down the back straightaway. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm going to try and rewind and see if I can find out what happened to that 98 car who was having a good run there. It looks like one car got into the wall. Virgil Green, and Thompson gets into the back of Brian Wan Jr., who gets tagged by the 41 of Shad Prescott. Unfortunate circumstances there for the 98 car, Justin Thompson.
So we'll see what happened here to the 98 car, and you see there it is. There's a slight checkup, and for the 41 and the 98 there, Chase, really not much they could do. Just wrong place, wrong time, and well, the 98 of Justin Thompson ends up down there near pit road, upside down. And well, this is going to really stack things up. 20 laps to go. We've not seen a very caution-filled race here, Chase. The last couple races, we've seen a lot of trouble early in the races. We had 1 caution, I think, about 13 laps into it. Now we get one here about 20 laps later with about 17 to go. Yeah, it's about normal. It's sort of been a regular kind of flow of cautions, I should say. But I think we're likely to see the aggression, especially up front, really pick up. Bergeron's always aggressive on these restarts, and he's going to be out starting on the inside of that second row. Kendall and Evan better watch out, because the 12 is more often than not a little bit aggressive. And you have that 0 of Kevin Dedman up there as well.
Yeah, a lot of guys that are hungry for their first win, and that might come into play as well. I mean, the 37, the 07, the 0, the 00, the 33 car. There's only 2 guys in the top 7 right now that have won races here. These guys are all hungry, man. They're not only hungry for a victory, but they're hungry for 300 smackaroos if they pick up the victory here tonight.
Yeah, and who would blame them for that, as the field's going to start getting themselves formed back up. And I believe we're going to have the 1 to go signal here already. So the light should be out on that iRacing safety truck. And Chase, 15 laps to go on this restart. 2 people who have not won a race yet this season in championship contending positions at the head of the field. Another one in second who's not yet won a race. And of course, the 12 of Bergeron. Who's your pick as we're getting ready to go green?
Man, I want to go with one of these guys that hasn't won a race, because that'd be such a great story. And I think I want to pick the 00 of Kendall Tucker, as he's going to come off turn number 4, looking for the green, and there it is, 15 laps to go here at Knoxville.
Down in towards turn 1, the 00 Kendall Tucker gets cleared. 12 of Bergeron slides Evan C, and he gets into the back of Tucker. The 12 of Bergeron is going to fall, and that's going to nearly confirm that we get a new winner this week, because the 12 of Bergeron cycles all the way to, I think, outside of your top 5. 4 wide for your top 5, and they come off of turn 4, and it's going to be the 127 on the outside, contact with the 2 of Hauser. We might get a caution here, but where the 12 of Bergeron ended up, he is well down the order in 13th. Top 4 as they run, Tucker, C, Dedman, Weaver, all 4 yet to win a race this season.
Battle for the lead. The 33 car M&C takes it away from the 00 Kendall Tucker through turns 3 and 4. He moved Tucker up the racetrack and took the lead on lap number 37. Tucker back down on the inside, left front tire on the inside berm, and the 0 car of Kevin Dedman's right there as well. About to be a 3-car battle for the lead with almost 10 laps to go.
goes VLR, Swindell Speed Labs, VLR, Swindell in your top 5 for the teams as they run. Victory Lane Racing didn't really have the momentum they wanted in the Sprint Car Championship, and the 1-2 center, Blake Matulis, sets up the 07 of Howard Weaver on the outside.
He is rolling.
Yeah, he definitely is, but VLR, they've picked up the momentum here in the late models, and they have gotten faster and faster this season has gone on as we're approaching 10 laps to go.
Yeah, Blake Majulis trying to be the spoiler here in this party of new time winners. He's working from 17th, ladies and gentlemen, up to the 5th spot and working on the 07 car of Howard Weaver. Up front, though, the 33 car of Evan C. is pulled out to about a 2-car length advantage over Kendall Tucker. Can Tucker get his head back on straight here and track him back down? I don't know, man. The 33 pulls him off turn 4 right there. 10 laps to go from Knoxville.
Working through here towards corners number 1 and 2, the 00 Kendall Tucker can't quite get there. Running outside still is Blake Matulis. He's trying to rip that outside line. The 07 of Howard Weaver doing so as well, trying to get it around his teammate in the 0. 10 laps to go this time as they come off of turn 4 and down the front straightaway. Teammates nearly side by side as they work in towards turn 1, but Howard can't quite get around Kevin Dedman. That car is singing an awfully nice tune at the moment in the 0.
Yeah, the 0 car really rolling the bottom nicely right now. He's got like an egg under his throttle pedal right now. He's just so easy on it. Doesn't want to break that egg. Doesn't want to go too hard and spin the tires back there. And it's working for him right now, holding off the 07 of Weaver and the 127 of Blake Majulis. Right now in the 6th spot, the 37 of Carter and the 32 car Seymour Wilson back there at about the 8th spot. So about 4 cars right now battling for that 4th spot.
1-2 center Matulis gets to the inside of Howard Weaver, slider line up to the top, 3 wide behind the 0, and Kevin Dedman is the 37 of Randall Carter. He's still a part of this. They get back 2 wide as they work towards 1 and 2, but the 1-2 center Matulis goes from 17th up to 4th, and he's trying to get to 3rd. Rips the outside down the back straightaway, and he is there. Kevin Dedman has to defend on the bottom.
I don't think I've ever wanted a caution more than I do right now. I just want to see this happen, Randy. From 17th to 3rd, the 127 of Blake Majulis now on the bottom step of the podium, putting on a show. He's up there on the top of the racetrack making it work, but he does not have enough time, I don't think, Randy. We're coming by this time, 5 laps to go, and he's at least a 1.5 seconds off the leaders.
Blake Matulis works off of turn 4 down the front straightaway, can't quite get clear. Actually does get clear of Kevin Dedman. He's officially on the podium from 17th, second to last row when he started this feature event, but Kevin Dedman still working that bottom line. Can't quite get there. They're going to single file out, but Kendall Tucker, we have to keep an eye on this fight for the lead as well as your points leader, only 3/10 off the back of the 33 of C. 5 laps to go.
Checking the lap times, that time by C was a hair bit quicker than that 00 of Kendall Tucker, but the last time by, your fastest car looks like it was the 127 of Blake Majulis. He was at least faster than Tucker. Kevin Dedman fighting back down to his inside for that 3rd place position. Not only is that a step on the podium, but that is a $100 bill if you were able to finish up in that 3rd spot. So those guys are definitely going to be racing hard for that money right there. Majulis, though, he's actually pulled away significantly from the 0 car of Dedman. And now the battle for it looks like the 5th spot's heating up between the 37 and the 07, Howard Weaver and Randall Carter.
A lot of 7s back there around your top 5, 6, 7 spots between the 07, the 37, the 127 as Randall Carter is trying to get a run on Howard Weaver but can't quite get close enough. Evan C, though, in the 33, we saw him first race of the season come out and run 2nd to Hayden Cardwell. Haven't seen him really be competitive and potentially run for wins ever since then, but he's come out and put in an absolute clinic from 4th on the grid. 2 laps to go this time.
Yeah, the 00 of Kendall Tucker switched up his line now. He runs a slider like his teammate Blake Majulis. He's trying, he's doing anything he can to try and track him down, but it looks like it's not working for him quite as well. They come through 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. This time by, it'll be white flag in the air for the 33 car of Evan C. Down the front stretch he goes. He's got a pretty good advantage over the 00 of Kendall Tucker. They go into 1 and 2. And they'll go down the back straightaway one more time. Tucker drives it in deep, tags the cushion off turn 2. Down the back stretch they go. It looks like it'll be C's race to lose as he goes into 3 and 4 on the bottom of the racetrack. Into 3 and off of turn number 4. How about this? Name a more competitive series on iRacing.com. 7 winners in 7 races with the World of Outlaws Morton Buildings iRacing Late Model Series. What a series we have here this year, Randy. An unbelievable job by everybody at iRacing and these drivers. Yeah, so Evan C. gets the victory. In second, it was the 0-0 of Kendall Tucker. Third spot from 17th, like we mentioned, Blake Majulis. Kevin Dedman in fourth. Howard Weaver comes home in the top 5. Randall Carter, 6th. Then it's Stephen Wilson, Dylan Hauser, James Edens from 18th up to 9th. Blake Brown rounds out the top 10. Then we have Blake Cannon. Alex Bergeron, who came in second in points, ends up 12th after some contact there at the end of the race. 13th went to Virgil Graham, 14th Brandon Proudfoot. Then it was Brian Wan Jr., Austin Carr, Garrett Robinson, Casey Kerwan, Shad Prescott, and unfortunately Justin Thompson will end up in the 20th and final spot in tonight's finish. But man, we are going to talk to our winners and our top 5, I believe, here tonight, which should be a great set of interviews. Another first-time winner here tonight, and I'm excited to see how excited Evan C. will be here tonight, Randy.
I know he's going to be happy here. It's been an absolutely phenomenal race as we're still taking a look at your feature results. But man, oh man, what a great race here tonight, Chase. It's been absolutely perfect for everything here. The track all night was beautiful, absolutely phenomenal the entire way through racing. And that feature event, it started out bottom heavy, but that top side came in nice.
Yeah, if you were able to run it right, man, it was definitely working for you. Like we saw with Blake Majulis and Alex Bergeron before he really got caught up in an accident there. Those two guys seemed like they were the class of the field on the top of the racetrack. So it was definitely there. You just had to have your car set up right, and you had to have your throttle foot and your hands feeling good on the steering wheel there to make it work for you. But we are just about set to have some interviews here.
Yeah, we're just waiting on a couple of your drivers to get through, and then we'll be doing your post-race interviews here. But man, what a run here for all of these guys. Absolutely phenomenal racing. And the 33 of Evan C. I mean, talk about an up and down year for him, Chase. He came in that first race that he had that we had out at Volusia. He looked absolutely phenomenal. Really hounded the driver in that race who ended up winning and comes home in second. And then he's just sort of, I don't want to say he dropped off into mediocrity, but he's always like that 10th and a half, 2 tenths off from being able to fight for a win. And he comes in tonight, and he's able to pick up a monster win here a little bit later on in the season. And we have him, the driver, the number 33, who wins tonight, Evan C. Evan, you're finally able to pull off a big win in this series, making it 7 drivers in 7 races to win here in this championship. How's it feel? That one looked fun.
Yeah, man, it was a fun race. It was awesome to finally get that win. I've been so close to a couple races, and needed a good race this next one to kind of bounce back in points. I've had some bad luck, but yeah, it was awesome for all the Team VRLR guys. Also, we all had a great run.
And it seems like the track was pretty bottom dominant there, unless a couple of guys were able to work it up top. But it seemed like you really just had to wait for a mistake there from Kendall to put a move on him, and that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, I was just waiting for a mistake. Every time a caution came out, I was just like, man, I was so close to him a couple of times, and then a caution would come out, but kind of slid high there that one lap, and I knew I was faster than if I could just get in front of him, that I would be able to pull away a little bit, and I was able to get under him there.
3 very different racetracks coming up for you, Evan, for these last 3 rounds in the championship. Williams Grove next week, Lima Land the week after, and then Charlotte, the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway is going to be rounding out this championship. How do you really set up? Because one of those tracks we've been to already once this season, and we've gotten 2 little tastes of what the quarter-mile racing gives in this championship. But Williams Grove, very different from anything on the racetrack, and Charlotte, very different from anything that very different racetrack compared to anything we have on the schedule, and Charlotte, very different racetrack from anything else that compares to it on the schedule. How do you really kind of prepare for that in terms of how you're going to probably expect to see the racetrack develop and the drivers themselves as they're probably going to approach it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to have to spend some time testing around, and since this last update, I don't think the cushion is quite as fast, so we'll just have to test around and, really just see what the fast line is. Setups don't change a whole lot from track to track once you find a good one, but, the line is what line to run is the main thing to worry about.
Well, thank you for joining us, Evan, and congratulations on another win and putting on an absolutely fantastic show here in that number 33 car. Before we let you go, who gets it done for everyone at Team Victory Lane Racing?
I want to thank all the guys at Team VRLR, Full Throttle Performance, Kevin Dedman, Dirty Grass Soul, Caperon at Caperon Screen Printing, and in memory for this super moon.
So there he was, your race winner tonight. The driver of the number 33 Victory Lane racing car is in Victory Lane. It is Evan C., $300 richer and getting himself even more competitive in this point situation. But another driver who's probably the big wild card of making in 8 wins in 8 races, Blake Matulis, talking in our green room as they shouldn't be, but that's okay because he's $200 richer. Kendall. What a run for you. You come into the points leader. You were potentially in it to win. Not quite able to do so. You run second. That 00 was hooked up. How'd it feel?
Yeah, we was pretty good right there for the first 15 or so odd laps, and then the slicker it got, the more it went away, and I could just feel it just lap by lap when I had that lead, and I was just thinking, oh no, come on, when I just had it built up like that. But on that restart, I knew I had to do something different, because if Evan had been more than patient enough with me, he had every right to move me out of the way. So he was definitely the car to win. So I tried a different line, and I mean we even going into 3, and he beat me to the corner. So all you can say, we just tucked back in line right there and just kept right up with him. He was just a tick faster, just off the corners, and tried to run the top a little bit right there at the end, and it just didn't seem to pan out for a win tonight. But second place, it's pretty good points tonight as well.
At that point, once you realized Evan was probably a little bit faster and he was going to eventually get by you, were you pretty content with running second there? Because, obviously you're leading the championship, and a second-place run wouldn't be too bad towards that.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep up with where everybody was on the track, and just trying to be smart, man. Like I said, Evan, he was definitely the car to win, and I didn't want to jeopardize a shot at the points right here. That's my main goal at this point in the season, so I just trying something different right there, and unfortunately it didn't work. So sometimes it happens, but we put in a lot of work this week, a lot of laps, and glad to see this hard work paying off. And it's not easy being fast at all these tracks, but I just trying to get these setups dialed in, and just you gotta work on your driving style a lot, just make everything work. I mean that's a big thing.
I asked Evan the same.
And can't thank all my guys at Speed Lab enough.
We'll get to that in a second, but I asked Evan the same question. 3 different racetracks, very different racetracks coming up. What's the preparation like for you guys at Swindell Speed Lab, setting up for the 3 very intense and different kinds of racetracks we're going to see to round out this championship?
Yeah, these final 3 tracks are all gonna be different. So we're really gonna have to be on our game these next 3 weeks. So I just got a lot of faith in all the guys over there. We got a good system right now. It's working for the most part. So just keep plugging away at this deal. I've been saying it since probably week 2 since I started talking to you guys. So just keep plugging away at this deal and just keep being smart and aggressive too. That's just all I'm trying to do at this point.
Well, congratulations to you once again, Kendall, on a strong second-place finish and probably taking a very strong situation in the points considering the way a lot of other people ran here tonight. Before we let you go, who gets it done for everyone over there at Swindell Speed Labs Esports?
Yeah, just all my guys over there at Speed Lab. We do a heck of a job week in and week out. Just got to thank all those partners, CBD Wise Organics, Bell Helmets, and Jeff Brown with iRacing iFlag, and Jamie Emery Superman Graphics. Y'all go give them guys, check them out on Facebook, and just got to thank all the guys at iRacing and World of Outlaws, and Rod and Randy, thank y'all for the broadcast, and plugging away at this deal, and we'll see y'all next Monday.
Well, we hope to see you run strong going in towards next Monday so that we can make it 8 drivers in 8 races. So hopefully that's no pressure on you, Kendall, to keep up the great excitement that has been happening in this championship. But I know another one of your teammates, he's looking to probably cycle some wins into his corner as well, is the driver, the 127 of Blake Matulis, who actually may not be here at the moment. He's currently muted, so we'll see if he can hear us. And nope, we got him. Blake, you came from deep in this field once again, 17th up to 3rd. You're making this a habit of going from the back to the front. And I guess it's okay because you're finishing near the front, but I think you'd prefer to start near it.
Yeah, I didn't even qualify tonight. Last week we had some problems and I wasn't able to qualify this week, and I got a feeling if I could have qualified and started maybe even 10th or so, I would have had a chance to get the lead there. It just it sucks how it plays out, but 3rd place, I'm not disappointed in that at all, especially from 17th.
Yeah, if you would have gotten a yellow there, man, I think, I was telling Randy on the broadcast, I think you might have been able to win this race.
I agree.
And now, how are you feeling in terms of this championship standings, Blake? Because, of course, you come in, you finish in 3rd. You came into this race 3rd in the points. You're going to close on everyone except Kendall. You might even steal second away from Alex in the points. We'll have to see when we get the updated point standings here in probably closer to the end of the broadcast. But how are you feeling at the moment being able to fight with your teammate Kendall? Because, you know, all you guys very close coming into this. He's the only one that you're going to lose a little bit of ground on with him finishing one spot ahead of you. What's your kind of mindset going into these last 3 rounds?
Yeah, I mean, Kendall's good. He's going to be hard to beat, super consistent. He always qualifies up front. You know, it's going to be tough to get by him, but I'm going to give it everything I have now. And we're really going to try on the qualifying efforts here, so we'll see how that works out. And hopefully we'll have some good luck on our side for these last 3 races. Maybe get a few points on them. That'd be great.
Well, congratulations, Blake, on another amazing finish, running third here tonight after starting 17th and passing 14 cars. It was mostly green flag racing all the way through. Before we let you go, who gets it done for everyone at Swindell Speed Labs Esports?
Yes, sir. Just all my teammates at Swindell Speed Lab. Can't thank them enough. iRacing iFlag, Jeff Brown. Thank you to him especially. It wouldn't be possible without him for everything he does for me. Bell Helmets, Wiser Organics, Design 75, Jeremy Ray, iRacing, and World of Outlaws for putting this on. You guys for broadcasting. My girlfriend for watching. My dad, everybody that watches. Can't thank them enough for supporting me. So thank you to all of them.
So there it was. Blake Matulis finishes third here tonight, which is going to help him out in the point standings, and I believe officially will say he is up to second in the championship points behind his teammate of Kendall Tucker. Driver that finished fourth, though, here tonight was that zero, of Kevin Dedman. Kevin, that number 0 looked absolutely hooked up for Team Victory Lane Racing. All of you guys looked strong. Evan winning the race, you in fourth, and Howard in fifth, who we'll talk to in a moment. Seem all you guys had amazing runs here this evening.
Yeah, man, we definitely had it dialed in tonight. I kind of wish that the bottom had stayed a little bit better, and I think I could have maybe made a run. Blake was coming, pretty quick up top, and I was just set up to roll that bottom, and it sort of faded a little bit there at the very end. And I would have liked to help third because I think this is my fourth place finish, so I'd like to get in that money.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And we move to next week. We go to Williams Grove, which, in my opinion, is kind of one of these tracks on the schedule. It just doesn't really fit in my opinion. It's so big and it's super wide, especially in 1 and 2. How do you think it's going to race there?
I really enjoy racing at Williams Grove. You know, if everybody stays clean and drives it, I think a track like Williams Grove, where you're definitely off throttle a lot more with the the hairpin turns and everything, and it's a pretty wide track, so you can roll the bottom or get around the top there. So I hope it'll be a pretty racy track. It's one of my favorite tracks on the service, really.
Well, congratulations to you, Kevin, on a strong finish here tonight, finishing fourth, and everyone at VLR involved. 3 of the cars in the top 5 absolutely looked pretty much picture perfect as far as a organization goes. And before we let you go, who gets it done for everyone involved with that 0 car?
Yeah, I want to say congratulations to Evan C. Me and him have worked a lot together, and he's helped me a lot and everything, and I've helped sponsor his car and whatnot. So congratulations to him first and foremost. Hopefully I'll be next on that win list. But thanks to all the guys at VLR. Check out my band Dirty Grass Soul on all the streaming platforms, on all your major music platforms. Go give us a like on Facebook and whatnot. Full Throttle Performance, Daniel Powell and those guys. CNC Racing's Design, Jameson Colbridge, Slide Job Ranch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Motorsports, and Ice Fighter Racing, Rocky Battenfield, and that should about do it. And you guys for doing a great broadcast. And man, this series is fun to run. So thanks to iRacing and you guys for putting it on in World of Outlaws. It's been a blast so far.
It's fun to run, and it's fun to cover, I can tell you that. So thanks for joining us, Kevin, and congratulations on a strong 4th place run.
Thank you.
So from him, we'll move to his teammate who finished in 5th, and Howard Weaver comes home in the 5th position. Howard, this has been such a weird championship for you. Started on the back foot. You nearly got to the point I know you were thinking of completely stopping running. And then you come out 7th race in the championship, and you put that sucker on pole. What has it been with this 07 car? You've been nearly as indecisive as an old teammate.
Yeah, I got the message. He's retiring again, but that's besides the point. I don't know, Randy. Half the weeks I've been trying to get suspended. The other half I figured I would try. So you're just getting, like bipolar. 1 week I'll suddenly break out and get a pole. The next week I'm having to plead to appeal a suspension. So it's been an up and down year for sure.
I'll tell you what, man. I didn't really know who you were before this, and then the first race, I see you got a whole Facebook page named after you. You got all these people. Where's Howard Weaver? And then what the heck, man? But finally tonight, you kind of put some up for you. You finish in the top 5. You got to be feeling at least a little bit proud of yourself, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I am. It was a little embarrassing to start. Though Blake Brown my teammate sent me his setup right at the very end of the dash. I didn't even get to get a lap in, but I got to turn 1, and it was the loosest thing I ever felt. And he said, yes, it is loose. And for some reason, I decided to try to run a lane up from the bottom, and that made it worse. I think I dropped all the way back to like 7th or 8th in like 3 laps from the lead. So after that, after it burned some fuel off, it got better though, and was almost up to 3rd, and then the line I was running kind of went away. But we ended up with a top 5, so yeah, it's pretty cool because I didn't even run a lap till right before the race. I was weed eating all day and trying to become a man for my wife.
There you go, the 07 of Howard Weaver.
I'm not even married.
Always a sense of humor. Yeah, that's what's exciting there. But Howard, great run for you in the 07. Was a lot of fun to watch, and good to seeing you have good runs because I know you're a fan favorite. Before we let you go, who gets it done for that VLR 07?
First I gotta thank Two Brothers Stream Team. They're not even on my car because I forgot to turn that in. But anyway, Ryan Martin. Sorry, yeah.
Chase, this seems like the most incompetent racing program there's ever been.
It is. It's worse than you can imagine, actually. But anyway, he randomly offered me right before the race, even before we went in the server. He's like, "I'll give you $100 if you win," and I'm like, "Well, easy money for you." And then all of a sudden, I qualify on the pole, and I forgot about it until after the race when he's like, "Well, you almost took my money." So I gotta thank him. Even though he's not on the car. And then iRacing iFlag, Jeff Brown, VLR, Seaval's Lawn Care. I'm just reading the sponsors off on the broadcast here. South Texas Speedway.
I'll change the camera.
Yeah, yeah, I can't see the hood. I was like, where are they at? There they are. Hanover Towing, there's another. Thank you. And everybody who tuned in and watched, and Race Spot on the coverage. And congrats to Evan C. on the win, teammate. That's cool. So, yeah, we still got it.
So there he was, the 07 of Howard Weaver, puts it on the pole, but apparently going to come up $100 short, not able to pull off the win, but a strong 5th-place finish regardless. And I think, Chase, that's probably about the worst sponsor rundown I've ever heard.
You know, I do a lot of real-life stuff, real-life racing, and it reminded me of when I interview a little kid during a Trophy Dash win, and he literally looks at his race car and just reads the sponsors. That's what Howard Weaver reminded me of right there.
Yep, so we'll actually take a look before we close out this broadcast at your championship point situation. And coming out of Knoxville is going to be Kendall Tucker with 484 points ahead of Blake Matulis. And look at this lead that Kendall Tucker has been able to open up for himself, Chase. 35 points without a race win yet. That 0-0, he's not been the fastest any single week, but he has been the most consistent. And, man, he's nearly got himself, about a half-race lead with 3 rounds left to go in this championship. We're talking about that 0-0 probably being the championship favorite right now. And Bergeron having that one little hiccup from near the front of the field. He falls and loses that 2nd spot. And he's actually in a nice, close little sandwich with himself, Blake Matulis, and Evan C.
Yeah, I think really it's come down to these top 4 guys: Tucker, Majulis, Bergeron, and C. Those are your kind of guys that we're going to be watching for the rest of this championship series. 35 points, man, that's really not a whole lot. And what we've seen so far this year, Randy, is every guy that's been in the championship hunt, they've had at least one bad race. Bergeron has now had 2. Blake Cannon got wrecked tonight. He didn't even make a feature a couple weeks ago. Majulis has had a bad night. It's just, when does Kendall Tucker, when does his luck and his great run come to an end here? Because this thing, he's been picture perfect almost all season long.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And with 3 wild card racetracks to go, Williams Grove, Lima Land, and Charlotte, it could potentially happen at any time. And hopefully for his sake, it doesn't happen in the last race because, well, that'll make it really difficult for us to follow, but that'll make it really fun for us to follow. But Williams Grove next week, Chase, the paperclip style racetrack that we have on the sim for dirt track racing. Very different from any of the other tracks on the service that we're going to see in this championship. That's going to be a fun one for sure.
Yeah, and I think Kevin Dedman really, lined it out perfectly there for you. So, I mean, he said you're really off the throttle a lot compared to the rest of these tracks. Even at Limaland and Kokomo, you're on the throttle quite a bit at those places. But at a place like Williams Grove, to hit the bottom there, you really got to slow the car down a lot on entry. And that's not what we normally see at a lot of the racetracks we go to here on this schedule. So, Dedman, he also sounded pretty confident there. So, you never know, man. 8 winners in 8 races. Could it be Kevin Dedman next? He sounded pretty hyped up for Williams Grove.
He definitely did, and who could blame him with the way that he's been running? But I think the car to keep an eye on to potentially make it 8 for 8 is going to be that 00 of Kendall Tucker, who's been absolutely phenomenal as well all season long, and will leave Knoxville with the championship lead going in toward Williams Grove. That is going to do it for us here on RaceSpot TV. And, well, we have a flurry of coverage for you going into this week for the iRacing Esports Network. Tomorrow night, we're going to have the eNASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series at Michigan. That championship's been heating up. Be sure to tune in and watch that. And a little bit later on in the week, on Thursday, the eNASCAR Ignite Series returns for their first playoff round at Richmond. And then we will have the Virtual Racing School GTI Racing World Championship. Their 5th round will have the 4 hours of Sebring over the course of the weekend. So a ton of esports championships happening all week long. And it's going to be a busy, busy week here for us here on RaceSpot TV. Huge thanks as well to all the sponsors who make this happen. World of Outlaws and Morton Buildings. We could not do this without you, and of course all the support that we get from the guys over at Dirt Vision. But that is going to do it for us here on your Monday night. We hope to see you tomorrow night, Thursday night, Saturday, and of course next week as well, and as well as everything else that we're bringing you. So until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.